Welcome to the Purpose for Life podcast. I'm your host, Suzanne Roberts, author of It's Deeper Than that just became a bestseller. I'm very excited about that, and founder of the Great Reconnection. I'm so excited to have Mira here with us today. I found out about Mira through Ruth Milligan, who is the first person I interviewed on my podcast, so you can listen to that. And at the time, what I needed Mira for was for my LinkedIn page, because she looked at it and she was like, it's not up to up to speed for who you are as an author, and taught me how to do a newsletter. But what I'd like to do today is explore who Mira is and how she became, or how you, Mira, became a champion for authors and speakers and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice in the world, or who they are to represent themselves in the world more powerfully and effectively. But let's just start with you, like how you came to this country and how that shaped you and how you've grown over the years. So give us a little background about yourself here.
Sure thing. So I'm a first generation immigrant. I was born and raised in a small country in Central Asia called Kyrgyzstan. It's a country of about 6 million people. Oftentimes, my country is compared with Switzerland for its natural beauty. So we have a lot of mountains, lakes, rivers, very beautiful country. I moved here for school through a student exchange program.
In
And
high school?
it actually university.
Okay.
Yep, university. It was a Fulbright program.
Okay.
So I came here to study for a year. I was able to secure a scholarship, full academic scholarship for the following year. So I was able to complete my degree here. And my degree was in accounting, far from the speaking world. So I moved here, and it was, just to back up a little, that was the dream of my early childhood, to come to United States, to study here, to live here, to earn here. And the reason for that is I grew up in a country that was part of the Soviet Union. I basically grew up behind the Iron Curtain. We didn't have any access to anything Western or anything American. So, but I was always, and kids of my age at the time, we were passionate about everything American, like MTV videos or Hollywood or, jeans. So everything was exciting to us because it was forbidden, right? So from that time, I remember that was my dream to come study to United States. So it just kind of, shows that for about 5 years, I applied for the Fulbright program, and I was rejected 4 times out of 5. And then the fifth time, it went through, and I was able to come here to study in New York, a small school called Hartwick College in upstate New York. I had great professors, great support system there. And and I was able to complete my education there and have a degree from a US college. And then from there on, I wanted to stay here and work here. Now that I have a degree, I wanted to get some experience, as any young, person would want. So I worked for a software development company. It was a global software development company. I was in their accounting department for a number of years. And then I transitioned into their channel sales department and marketing department. And I worked there for 9 years in that organization. And the reason for that was I liked the company, I liked my field, but they were also my sponsors. So when you come here on a student visa, you find a company like the company I worked for who would sponsor my work visa. And I was with them, like I mentioned, for 9 years. So they sponsored my visa, sponsored my work visa, and I was able to, maintain my status through them. But in the meantime, they were super nice to me, very flexible with me as well. So I'd always be grateful for that company. After that, I did some freelance work. I did work in marketing. I transitioned to digital marketing as well. After doing some of that, I moved on to cybersecurity space.
Hmm.
And I was with cybersecurity for about 4 years, where I was managing projects in pen testing, ethical hacking projects. And the field was so fascinating to me that I stayed with them for a number of years. And then now I actually represent speakers in cybersecurity. So I still have that cybersecurity connection. So after that, I did a bunch of different things. Like I mentioned before we chatted, I wrote children's books. I did like little dip my sort of feet into all these different areas. And then I found out about speaking industry by accident, and I was fascinated by it. I didn't know this even existed. I started with one speaker. I represented one speaker, and then about 3 years ago, I founded Frankly Speaking Agency, where I work with select group of speakers, and I help, amplify their voices. I help get them on podcasts, on stages, virtual and live stages. And I do other things as well, like with LinkedIn. I help speakers get their LinkedIn accounts updated. I help with some marketing things as well. I help with promotions. And that's kind of how I came to be. It kind of sounds boring a little bit, but.
Well, I don't think it sounds boring at all. I'm fascinated because I only know you from having a speakers bureau and helping me with my LinkedIn, and everybody go to my LinkedIn page because you'll see that it's great because of Mira helping me get there, and I have some more work to do with it, which I appreciate you helping me. I had no idea anything of everything that you've said.
Mhm.
Once I do have a question for you though. Once a company, like when you leave a company that's sponsoring you, how do you have a way to stay in the United States, and how have you managed staying here? So I want you to answer that. And I also want you to answer, what is it like to be an immigrant in our country, coming from behind the Iron Curtain to here?
Oh my gosh. I at a time I was so young. I was so excited about coming to United States. And I was entering the United States as a student, so I already had a status. I
Mm,
can't imagine entering any country illegally. It's mind blowing that so many people do that and maintain that status for so many years, right? And now they're facing all these challenges. So when I entered the United States, I entered as a student, as a with a valid student visa, and I was fearless.
hmm.
I wasn't afraid of really, language barrier or cultural barrier or cultural shock or anything like that. I think the excitement just kind of like overrode everything else, like the fear and the anxiousness or anything that might be. When I talk to my mom now, I ask her, like, how did you ever let me go? Like, how did you just like, okay, bye, you'll be fine. It's because this is all before internet, for social media, before video calls, before WhatsApp, before Zoom calls. Like my mom would go to an actual building, like a telecom building, to place a phone call to talk to me once a month. And I was across the ocean in a whole different country. And that, even that didn't bother me. That was just how it was, right?
Hmm.
That's how it was. Of course, I was worried about her and the rest of my family. She was worried about me. I was excited to come to this country because I was following my dream
Hmm.
to come here to study. I was, I didn't experience anything negative as an immigrant at all. One thing I remember clearly, so I went to school in New York, in upstate New York. So I came to New York City just as a visitor during a break. I think it was a Thanksgiving break. And I remember being just so excited and overwhelmed by the energy of New York City, but also, just looking around and seeing people from all different ethnic and cultural backgrounds and thinking, this is amazing. Like I felt like I belonged
Hmm.
right away there and then. It was a crazy experience. And of course, everything that comes with it, right? Like the accents and the languages and the food. I just loved it. I loved my experience as a student and as a young professional. So it was, like I said earlier, nothing negative about that. And as far as maintaining status, yes, that's so important. You have to maintain status, whether it's you're here as a student or you're here as a young worker. So I maintained my H-1B and then onto the green card and then eventually onto a U.S. citizenship. So I have my U.S. citizenship, which I value a lot. So yeah, it was just a big, exciting journey for me moving here.
Have you experienced challenges as an immigrant later on being here, or never really?
Well, the challenging part was really becoming a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
It's a lengthy process. It's a hard process. Everything from the paperwork and the you know expectations and like the amount of time it takes to approve everything. It was that process was not exciting,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something that you had to do. So that part was challenging, yes. And being away from my family is, I would say, that was also challenging because my family is across the world in a different country, and I'm here first gen. My When I was able to finalize my citizenship, I wanted to bring my parents here, and they didn't want to come here. They're like, our lives are in Kyrgyzstan, the social ties, the statuses, everything else. So there's just no way for them to come join me. So that part is also very challenging, not being close to them physically. But thankfully, we have technology now where we can
Right.
talk. You and I talking every day. Mom and I talk every day.
I'm really impressed with your passion to just thrust yourself into situations and make them work. And you've had a lot of work transitions where it sounds like your ability to come here and just your excitement for something lets you create success. So you've reinvented yourself many times, from an accountant to marketing to cybersecurity to a speaker's bureau to a children's book. All those things say something just about you as a human being. And tell me why you feel passionate about helping authors and speakers amplify their voices.
The speakers I work with are just, including you, are amazing people. And I feel like the messages they bring to the world, people need to hear about them. They need to be heard on stages. They need to be heard on podcasts. And that's what drives me. I feel that I'm helping get their voices heard, on the right platforms.
Nice.
And that is changing. For example, I'll give you one example with one of my speakers. She's a mental fitness speaker. She speaks on mental health. Her name is Sandy Joyce Weston. And what she talks about is so important. She talks about the burnout. She talks about how to, shift your energy, how to get out of this, of that state of mind, for example, and get yourself set for success. Take care of your mental health. So, and I feel that messages like that are important. And when I help her and my other speakers get on podcasts talk about that, that makes me feel good. That they're talking about it, other people are hearing about it. It's important messages, and that's what drives me.
That's great. And just having one speaker made you decide to start your own company. Is that right?
Exactly.
And then how do you find podcasts or speaking opportunities? How do you network like that?
Sure. So it's a lot of pitching. I do pitching on behalf of my clients. It's networking. I have a large network of podcasts, as well as event organizers who I've worked in the
Mm,
past. So whenever I'm working with my clients, I run my speaker profiles by the network first. And then I do pitching and promotion as a second kind of like strategy. The other strategy is, of course, LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a very trusted website. So before anybody goes and checks somebody else's individual website, they'll go check authors, let's say, LinkedIn profile. And that profile needs to be, professional. So I make sure that I advise my speakers and authors on getting that updated, on getting the newsletter started, getting involved, on social platforms. But LinkedIn is very important.
Sounds like you're using your marketing skills for both your speakers bureau for pitching or helping people. Yeah, and also on LinkedIn. So you're combining lots of different skills that you have into this company that you have right now. I do
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do have something really fascinating that's sticking with me from the beginning when you talked, because you were talking about how beautiful your country is that you were born in, and that it's like Switzerland. And when you talked about that, you got very expansive and very excited. And then when you talked about being in the Iron Curtain, you got really restrictive. So I feel like in some ways that you had a sense of awe and expansion and beauty within limitation. And coming here gave you the freedom to let go of the limitation and just be in the expansion, because there were you took the restrictions off when you got here through your excitement. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. I mean, America is a land of opportunity. And growing up, yeah, I can't even compare. We were very restricted. We couldn't travel. We couldn't watch Western television. We couldn't listen to MTV. Like none of that was available or accessible to us. So, I mean, I have stories about, pirated copies and things like that, but maybe I shouldn't talk about it on this platform. But that's, that was the reality, right? We had a store that we would go to rent movies from Hollywood, but it was not legal. But that's what we did. So yeah, I mean, coming here, it was definitely opened up so many opportunities. And the the mindset here is, if you want something, if you want to do something, just go for it. Like, don't be afraid. I say that with so much confidence, but still internally I process a lot of fear. But once it's processed and I go through it, I don't look back. Yeah, it's definitely, you definitely said it correctly. I was pretty restricted back in my home country.
And I love that you were persistent in pursuing what you wanted to pursue. And I think it's important for the listeners to hear that today. Just because something doesn't happen the first time or the second time
Mhm.
or the third time or the fourth time doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And if any of you have a dream that are listening, keep going for your dream. And I love that about you, Mira. You had a dream and you had a vision, and you just kept trying until something opened for you. And I feel that that is part of who you are as a human being, that's made it possible for you to emerge in this country the way that you have, and to continue to grow and change over time. Because now, if you have another vision or dream, you just go for it. It doesn't mean that you're not afraid. I think anytime any of us do anything big, it's scary. It's the
Mhm.
question, are we going to do it whether we're scared, rather than I'm not going to wait until I'm not. If I wait till I'm not scared, I'll never do it. What I hear is like, okay, here's a dream, here's a vision. Keep at it. Keep at it. Keep at it. And don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on your dream and vision, because eventually you never know when that door is going to open.
Absolutely. I have do you know this? Uh, it's called My Intention. I'm sorry, what is it called? Yes, myintent.org. There's a little,
Hmm.
uh, bracelets you can make, and you can customize them. So mine says no regrets.
Mm.
And that's a bracelet I keep right here on my table because, I don't want to have regrets. It's just a daily reminder.
I actually really love that. I think all of us need to choose a North Star that we want to abide our lives by and remind ourselves on a daily basis, what is it that we want for ourselves.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like that. I love that. And I know that you said you aren't a speaker yourself, but I got to hear you speak in New York, and I had no idea it was your first time doing it, and you were great. So could you imagine yourself doing some more speaking down the road, or you don't know?
Thanks for telling that. It's on my one of those fear things. I need to internalize it. I need to fight it, and I need to do it. But yeah, first time was in New York in October. And I was super excited. And I think it's the energy of New York too. It gives you something. It gives you that extra push that you didn't know you needed. Because yeah, I was buzzing with excitement, and I was just happy to be there in that room with you guys and Sarah and all other 50 or 60 authors in that room. It was amazing. It was fantastic, and I'd love to explore more for sure. But it is one of those things where I'm not a natural speaker.
You're not practiced at it. I don't know that you're not natural. You're speaking here today and you're sharing your story, and that's speaking. So I'm getting to learn from you speaking today. Then you showed your little bracelet. That's speaking. So I don't know. Maybe you're just not. I find it really interesting when people define themselves a certain way, and I'm experiencing them very differently.
I love that, and thanks for letting me know. Yeah.
Yeah, because you have a story to tell that's very meaningful. And like I said, I can hear the ingredients in you of like the beauty around you and the wonder and also the fortitude. And those get applied to you over and over and over again in different ways. And you have reinvented yourself so many times in the life that you've lived already, and I don't know what's next for you. And I don't think you do either. But
This is my first podcast, maybe
this is
first of many.
Oh, great. Absolutely. I hope so. I really hope so. I think your story's very, very important. And like I said, I think anybody that has a dream or sees something for themselves, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in the next sentence, or the next breath. But if you want it to keep applying yourself over and over and over again, and then bring that excitement like you brought to engage fully. Think that what you do is you come and then you engage fully, you give yourself because you're so grateful for the opportunity. And I think people forget to be grateful for the opportunity because you lived in restriction, you don't take it for granted.
Every day I practice gratitude. It's going to sound cliche, but I do. It's just, I wake up and I'm just so grateful to be in this country. I'm grateful to live where I live. We live in this beautiful area outside of Atlanta, and it's just this gorgeous neighborhood with big trees and squirrels and birds. It's my little fairy tale. And, grateful for my family and my home. So I try to stay grounded for sure, but also grateful for things that I was able to experience so far, for the opportunities that come my way. I'm grateful for my clients.
I love that, Mira. I really, really do. One of the questions I love to ask my podcast guests are, what do you think the purpose for life is?
So it's actually, I think it's changed for me many times. I feel that purpose for me growing up was, I wanted to come to the United States. I wanted to study here. I want to work here. I want to help provide for my family. And that's what I did. That was my purpose. I wanted to help my mom and dad. I bought their first home. Well, it's not their first house, their second house. So, but they were able to live independently, and helping them financially gave me so much it was a gift for me, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was giving them, but I really was getting so much more from it. Throughout the years, now that have grown, and throughout the years, I've experienced death in my family. I lost my dad in 2019, and then my brother last year. And that's, you know, shifted something in me where now I feel like the purpose for my life is just to live my best life and have a great time at it.
Oh, I love that.
And be unapologetic.
I love
So
that.
that's my mantra right now. Just live your best life.
And be unapologetic. I love that. Mira, how can people get a hold of you?
My website is franklyspeaking.agency. That's my speaker website. And my LinkedIn is, I'm on LinkedIn as well. So I'll share the LinkedIn with you.
And I recommend Mira highly. I'm going to continue with Mira down the road to help me as I move forward with all of my endeavors. And I really appreciate you being here today. I appreciate that I'm your first podcast. You were
Thank you. Thank you so
amazing.
much.
I'm so glad you were here, honestly. It's been really inspiring to listen to you.
And you are inspiring to me, Suzanne.
Thank you.
I tell about you to everybody, my mom, everybody.
Thank you.
So yeah, you are so inspiring to me. With your book, with your podcast, you speaking at the events, helping so many people. You're so inspiring to me. It's just, I can't even. I tell my husband too, like, I'm speaking with Suzanne today. I have a podcast. He's like, that's awesome. So you're super inspiring.
Thank you.
Not just to me, to many people, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, listeners, for being here with us again today. Thank you, Mira, for being here. We're finishing up today with the Purpose for Life podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Suzanne Roberts, author of It's Deeper Than That and founder of The Great Reconnection. And we look forward to you joining us next time. Thank you.